All right, well, it's not going live for some reason, so I just hit the local record, so we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Northreach Town Hall for the month of November. All right. Most of the CoC is here. And so we have a list of questions that have been pre-submitted. If you have not submitted a question and you're dying to know the answer, if you look down, we have a general chat. It says CoC general chat. You can drop your question there and we will answer it. So I'm going to get to these questions. All right, first up is, so granted, I'm going to kind of go through these. There are some serious questions in here, but there are some goofy questions. And the first one is, why is Ziogen so wonderful? I don't know, why am I so wonderful?
I think you're wonderful because not only have you taken hardships towards yourself and our kingdom with grace, but also you've done so like a very smooth shot of whiskey. So I think you're wonderful.
I think Rolo should answer that one.
That's not whiskey, Your Majesty.
Yeah, it's not whiskey. I think Rolo should pass on that question. Thank you. All right, well, let's move on down. Oh, of course, we have the traditional, is Mayo an instrument? And I'm always a hard no on that one.
You're wrong.
I'm sorry, the question was, is Mayo an instrument?
Yes.
Yes, that's a common question from Lupin Moon for some reason.
If you slap it at the correct volume and velocity, it makes a wonderful wet percussion noise.
Bards are obsessed.
So would Lupin Moon be willing to maybe make a music video to regale us all?
If you give me just a second, I'll go grab my mayonnaise jar.
Oh, let us not. All right. Oh my gosh. Why is boot? Nah. Why is? Never mind. We're gonna skip that one. Oh, and does Rolo taste like candy? No, he does not. Who is your favorite Fae and why is it Boot? I don't know. I think Rain might be beating you out on that one.
I'm trying for real tears. I don't think it's working.
I don't know. I think you convinced Mouse, and she's the only judge that counts in this house. So.
Oh, then we got. Did you know that you're super awesome, Your Majesty? Yes, I do. Thank you. Is Mayo un instrumento? I think someone needs to learn Spanish. Where is my burger? Someone in your freezer. And we actually. Oh, and we have actually a good question here. If park attendance is required, does that mean lands can get penalized for lack of membership and lose their status, i.e. a barony back to a shire? And that's actually a great question, especially for tonight. And the answer is no. At this point, no. And that goes for, it's for any of the demotions. Those are all were set aside. And currently there's a freeze on park promotion. Well, actually park demotions. Parks could still theoretically earn a promotion if they qualified, but they can't be penalized and demoted at this time. The next question is, can parks hold personal ANS competitions? Absolutely.
Yeah, we have the Lupin Moon showcase going on right now.
Yep, I was just going to say, yeah, Lupin Moon has their monthly showcase. Then I don't think there's any other parks having ANS competitions, but by all means, compete against yourself and that's a great way to get your stuff noticed for awards. Last rain? I think toward the end of last rain, for that hot second, we were meeting after the Grand Mammoth / Kingdom Crown Qualls. Ravenstone had their own little personal gala type thing for ANS, so people could bring their stuff to get it shown, and they didn't have scores per se, but they had comments and stuff available, and it was able to get things noticed toward for awards.
Yeah, I think we called it I think they called it, not we called it an exhibition.
Yeah.
We called it the Ethereum. It was Gideon's idea.
That sounds very Gideon-y.
So absolutely, get out there and make your own little competitions. I'm all for it. Make yourself known. Get those awards. Ooh, okay. This is for each monarch, and this is very important. What does each monarch think is the cutest animal? Since I started it, I'm gonna go with a dog. Just my dogs, my dachshunds.
Well, if you look up a Rottweiler puppy, like right now, it's gonna melt your heart.
I would have to personally go with a chinchilla. Have you guys seen one of those before?
Oh, yeah.
Cute.
Yep, my sister-in-law used to have chinchillas.
I'm gonna have to say baby otters.
Ooh, I think I might win with the baby otters, but I still have to go with my corgi.
Corgi butts, those are the best.
They drive me nuts.
Here I am with something normal, cats. I like cats and kittens. Yeah, imagine that, big guy like me.
That is my close second place. For those of you guys who have not met my kitty Rue, she is the most wonderful little pumpkin kitty.
Oh, my cat is Satan incarnate, but I love her nonetheless.
Yeah, that'd be my ring. He's my cat. You guys probably heard him and saw him a couple times. The crafting corners and CoC chats.
Yeah.
Don't you have like 8 million dogs too, Ronan?
Yeah, I've got like 38 right now, counting the 4 puppies that just came recently.
Oh my goodness! So do you mush dogs?
No, I'm currently watching them for our mother-in-law. She moved back to Fairbanks and needed a place to stay and needed a place to stash her sled team.
Okay, that makes sense because I didn't realize. I was like, where did all these dogs come from?
And here I thought 7 or 8 cats was excessive.
Oh, Dodal threw up a question. This sounds like a very important question. What's your Pokemon starter or favorite dinosaur?
Oh, what Pokemon game?
Chimchar from Diamond the Pearl, I believe it was.
Or you
God, that was a long time ago.
Classic Totodile, dude.
So, when I first started Pokemon, when it first came out, my first was a Charmander. However, I forever will always choose Chikorita. That was my baby in silver that I dedicated way too many hours of my childhood to.
I wish I could still find my original Game Boy Blue Edition because my Charmander was awesome.
If anyone has seen me out in Ravenstone and when Drake did his Pokemon games, yeah, I'm anti-Pokemon, so my bad.
I am the best Pokemon, let me tell you.
And that's one game I just haven't had the opportunity to get into quite yet.
Ooh, Thor, that is a great question. What would you consider high enough quality for a 6th level or above for awards?
Ooh.
That would depend on the award, honestly.
Yeah.
Right. So, like for like a Garber, I would consider something that is completely finished. I would expect you to have nice seams, seams of your choice, but they have to be nice and finished. I would look for start to look for more complexity to the garment. So like not like just a simple tunic or that wouldn't do it, but you would have to start with embellishments and stuff that you really put thought into. Strings, of course, cut. Yeah, just like and start and like more complex and more. Just that when you look at it, you're like, holy crap, that's amazing.
Yeah, for 6th level and above, if we're using garbing as an example, at that point, I want to see more than the fact that you can just sew a couple of pieces of fabric together. Show me the real effort that you put into it, both aesthetically and in balance. Show me some hand beating. Show me rivets. Show me grommets. Show me something that by the time you hit your 6th level, I already know that you know how to sew. You've made functional items. So show me a finished item with some love and attention put into it.
I'd say even like applique on a basic tunic, as long as you do a good job and you have clean edges. I mean, it's still going above and beyond a basic tunic.
Absolutely.
Not using Garber as an example, but say a Griffin, a 6th level or higher Griffin. This is somebody I think who is honest beyond reproach. If these guys, someone who's got a 6th Griffin says that shot didn't hit or that shot definitely hit, that's a lot to take into consideration there.
Absolutely.
I think high level Griffins make the best Reeves, honestly.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
They also make the best mentors for newer players.
That's
I was just gonna say to go back to I believe owls, because I'm thinking leather work, like the guys that take their time and they tool the bejesus out of their pieces and really put that detail in it. That really makes it stand out other than just whipping out a belt real quick. But it can even be a belt, and if you because I've seen some pretty high tooled, high worked belts that are just absolutely stunning.
Thor adds on, now, would you consider it for just a single piece or would you want it for a group as far as Garber goes? And I think if I'm understanding the question correctly, any one item can definitely be exemplary. It's not a matter of quantity, it's a matter of quality. So, say I were to submit a dress that was of 6th level merit or higher, I don't have to submit a group of dresses for it. I just have to show that one piece of garment. This is what I'm able to do, and I can reproduce this.
And I think what he might be referring to is, I believe it's the rule, the ROP. It makes suggestions for suggestions. This is what I think should be considered like a 10th level Garber or an 8th level Garber, and it talks about, or 9th level Garber, because it talks about being able to outfit a group of people. Which is a good thing. I mean, sure, but I can whip out 10 tunics in a few days and outfit that. But would they be of quality? Maybe, depends on how quickly I tried to do them. So me personally, I'm with quality over quantity.
Yeah, for example, I think it was my 2nd or my 3rd Garber. I received for making some really quick tunics for the majority of the Winterborn company that I'm a part of, and they were functionable. They were they maybe probably weren't the best quality as far as what I would expect for a 6th level and above, but I did receive it for creating a bunch of garb in one go. That being said, I definitely think that at the point that you're getting into those higher, especially ladder awards, like Her Majesty said, quality over quantity.
Why do I feel like anybody who's ever judged A&S entries I've been in is just glaring at the blank spot on my screen right now at the whole quantity over quality thing?
I mean, I'm usually glaring at you anyway.
There's a
It
difference.
was only 25 guys.
Drasic, there's a difference between trying to qualify for office and actually trying to win awards. I'm just saying.
I got a Hydra for that. I could have got 3 Hydras for that, and then some. It's only 25 entries.
Any more Monarchs have any more comments on the award quality?
I think wacky weapons, if they're built properly, and when I say wacky weapons, I mean like there's some stuff that's just like really crazy cool. Like I know somebody who built an umbrella that's amp guard legal. Like if you can build something like that, and it's like it functions well, it follows everything that needs to be, and it's structurally safe. I feel like that's
Someone find a picture of Delhi's strike legal Walker.
At a certain point, I feel like you're going to have to wow whoever's judging you to really be in contention for a higher level award, because the expectation is when you get to that level, you should be performing at a high level. And, you know, we do get to see people's work every week. And when you pull out that new shiny whatever it is, you know, it should really start, you know, all the judges are surrounding you wanting to see it. Oh my God, this is the coolest thing since sliced bread. You know, that should be the feeling when you get up into those higher levels.
I think as the crafter, you really want to think about how can I bring this up to the next level? You know, what can I do a little extra that'll just make it pop out, like you were saying. And even if you look at something and you're extremely satisfied with it, you don't have any regrets, then you know you're probably doing or taking the right steps anyway.
Be sure you put that love into it, that extra love.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Make sure to torque wrap it really well too.
Just torque the crap.
Sluffer sword, anybody? Anybody? Bueller?
No, because slough punishing is mean.
Those are all good responses. Excellent. Okay. Ritlock, great question. When would the COC be meeting up to discuss the deals with COVID and when parks would be allowed to play again and what rules would we have to follow? So I follow...
When we stop...
What's that?
When we stop seeing 500 a day,
right.
we might have to start with.
Right. I follow the COVID numbers every day. If you actually go to the COVID response website, the entire state of Alaska is red, which means it's an extremely high community transmission across the entire state. We were playing when it was yellow, and we kind of started getting a few cancellations-ish when it got to orange. Yellow, I believe, is when it's less than 10 per 100,000 people cases, and it's in a low transmission rate. So right now, all my graphs for all 5 regions, because Kenai, Icefire Bay, and Froco are one region, so I have 5 regions, all my maps, every single graph is still trending upwards. So, in all honesty, we're not meeting anytime soon. Most likely, what I'm projecting, if we keep on the current trend and nothing changes, we probably will not be back together until spring. That being said, if somehow the state of Alaska gets their act together and things calm down, we will absolutely revisit it at that time. And the rules, most likely we will go back into a phase one, our phase one mitigation plan to start out with, and kind of go from there, kind of like what we happened back in March, April, May, when we started meeting again. And if a vaccine comes out and things again start calming down with that, then again we'll start readdressing it. But these are all big ifs, and like I said, we're not planning on anytime soon. That's why I've challenged my monarchs and all of the officers to get creative and get everyone involved, so we can do a lot of online stuff. It's been 8 months since this thing started, and at least started in Alaska, and so we've gotten pretty good at being involved. So
absolutely. To kind of add on to what Her Majesty said regarding online involvement, it is unfortunate that we're not able to meet in person right now. It is fortunate that we do have other means of communication and participation. She has asked all of us monarchs to put our heads together about what we can do individually for each of our parks, and we've been working pretty hard at that. DC has officially been made a virtual event, which again, given the circumstances right now, we wanted to make that call sooner rather than later. Mouse, who's the head autocrat for it, she kind of looked at the projected numbers, talked to Her Majesty and all of that. And for the safety of our populace, that's what they decided to go with. I know it sucks not having to see people in person. I know that it sucks us not getting able to have our big events. But at the end of the day, AmpGuard is a privilege, and we're doing what we can for it. So we appreciate all of you guys' patience.
So with DC being an online event, do we have a pricing kind of thing? Considering in person, there's a lot more things to do.
Your Majesty, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I believe an online event is free.
It is. We may have commemorative items that people can pre-order, that of course we can have sent to them individually. But to actually participate in the multiple classes, tabletop RPGs, and games that we have set up will, of course, be absolutely free. We have a schedule coming for you guys as soon as we have everything all figured out. So sit tight. It's going to be a great time, guys.
Although I am going to charge $20 for the knighting ceremony, and I'm going to charge $25 for court. So if you want to get an award, got to pay up.
Wow.
I kid.
So, how much does a 10th level rose cost?
Actually, funny enough, Gideon in Ravenstone took a look at the actual numerical price of what Flame Knights normally end up spending in assistance to their park, and the number came out to the 2000s or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I want to say he was saying like $2,470 or something like, I don't know, it's random.
Yeah, he wanted to get it engraved on a plaque and hand it to His Majesty Nalarian when he was in the last reign. That being said, we don't take bribes for awards, just like Her Majesty clarified.
Okay, so back to my other list here. Do we go to Zyagen's lawn or Nalarian's lawn to get our DC burgers? Well, I think my lawn is bigger and it's got more terrain. So, I mean, we can do my lawn this time around. So. Oh, this is a good question, whoever submitted this one. How many monarchs plan on running for another term? Right now, I don't plan on running, but my term isn't up yet, so.
I do plan on running again for Lupin Moon, actually.
Depending on how long it takes Juneau in the state of Alaska to get my application work going, I may very well put in for another term. But if they contact me by, January, say, hey, we've got the ball rolling on your DOC paperwork, then I don't think I'm going to be able to convince Ravenstone to excuse 20-something absence.
I am not going to be running this next one because of Mouse just moving to Anchorage and being in between a little bit. That said, if there's any Froco people on here, get thinking about it.
I definitely kidnapped Rain's wife.
I plan on running for DLC again.
And I plan on running for Icefire Bay again.
I love it.
There's a good chance that I'll plan on running again.
Woo!
So it sounds like I might have some continuity on my CoC for the next 6 months. So excellent. Thor asked, will there be a chance to gain a Paragon title while COVID is going on? There is always a chance because we were playing. I'll be talking to Drake, who is the Guildmaster of Paragons, here soon to see if there are any recommendations. Granted, it will be a lot harder to get a Paragon title at this point since it's hard to actually see people play. But there are possibly ways around it if you're that committed to your class and hold some classes and kind of go from there. But yeah, I'll be reaching out to Drake, so there might be one or two.
And remember, too, if you guys see somebody, I keep talking right after you, Your Majesty. I promise I'm not trying to one-up you. But if you guys see somebody that you think exemplifies the class and that you'd like to see be a Paragon, you are always welcome to put that sort of thing in award suggestions, because then Her Majesty passes that along to the Guildmaster of Paragons. It's not just a bunch of people who might passively see somebody. We'd like to know what the populace thinks about it too. So again, you are always welcome to suggest people.
And on that note, I'd like to remind everybody too in this time, if you feel like somebody didn't get an award for something that they should have, get that into those award recommendations. We got a lot of reflect and look back. I mean, you can always put yourself up for an award too, but usually looks better if somebody else does it, We want to make sure that people do get that recognition, but we only can see as much as we can see. So we really rely on those recommendations to make sure that people do get everything that they deserve and have worked hard for, because it all takes some good work.
And it stinks because of COVID, because I was hoping to get to all the parks this past 6 months, and of course that didn't happen. So hopefully in the next at the next rain, things will relax and I can actually get to all the parks before July. So. All right. This is also a good question. Has a process to screen potential members ever been considered to protect our populace? That is a great question. I don't know. But it's something we can absolutely look into.
I believe in my first reign on the CoC, we had...
So, if I can really quick, this is actually a conversation that I had with King Nalarian last, because there was a slew of information that came up about people that we did end up banning from our organization, even though they were already incarcerated. It was for posterity's sake. I believe that the answer was we are not in the business of running background checks on everybody that wants to participate in our organization. That being said, if somebody happens to Google the person or look on Court View, what is there is public information. And we can definitely make decisions based off of as being associated with people. So I don't know that we really want to take on the liability that an official vetting and background check process runs on. That opens us up to a lot of things that we might not be ready for as an organization. But it is not unheard of to look at publicly available information on somebody. I know that's kind of a roundabout answer.
Yeah, but it was a good answer. Well done.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Most of my park knows that I, at some point, have
All right. Oh, I swear my husband submitted this question. What do you want for Christmas? I submitted a list of sewing supplies that I need, as well as a few additional crowns that I possibly could need.
What would you get for Christmas, Orion?
Hey, sounds like no other monarch wants anything for Christmas.
I mean,
I was talking and didn't realize I was muted.
What was that, Sage? We couldn't hear you over Drasic.
Yeah, I'm at a pause because I don't usually think about what I want for Christmas. I'm just usually thinking about what to give other people. So,
Big thing. What were you saying, Drasic? You said you forgot to hold down your button.
At this point, I'd be okay with a case or two of ammunition. Maybe 3. I mean,
And you would lose them all in a tragic boating accident. What about you, Ronan?
No. I did lose all mine in a tragic boating accident. I don't know, honestly. A good pair of socks.
Socks are good. I like and I like video games, so anything really falling into those category. But probably food. I really, really like to eat.
I could use some cupcakes.
Oh, yes, Your Majesty. Mm-hmm.
You know what?
I wouldn't say no to crafting materials.
Okay, yeah, you guys have helped me out a lot here. Food, maybe some armor. That would be awesome. I usually just have gotten into the magic classes because I haven't had the time to make armor nor the fundings to purchase it. So I'm not even sure. I know I do have some armor coming. Don't know if it's going to fit or not. But yeah, so.
I'd totally love some cores, like some band shop core. That'd be nice.
That being said, I'm also giving away a free Paragon Druid for Christmas. He's free to a good home if anybody wants him.
Free? You mean you're not asking for any cheesecake?
No, not this time. I'm about up to here. You can just have him.
Oh, you know what else would be really awesome? Some cream puffs.
I'm about to disconnect from this call, Edge.
I don't know if the Paragon and the Druid's housebroken. I think I heard that he might piddle if he gets startled.
Probably. He's kind of a weenie.
Oh, that's a good question, Ridlock. I might need some clarification. If someone is in the armed services and wanted to run for office, would there be a little leniency with said soldier? Are you talking about like if you're unable to attend all the park days? Because yes, and meeting. Okay, so it depends. One, it depends on which office you're running for. If you were to run for GMR, champion, regent, or prime minister, the requirements are you would have to attend each of your park days if we were meeting, and then you would have to attend at least one meeting a month for your said council. If you were unable to attend those meetings, you are allowed up to 6 absences a reign, so or 4 in a row. So it's an either or. If you say you made most of your meetings and you missed one, you're fine. If you're unable to make, let's say you've missed 3 meetings in a row and your next one is your 4th and you're going to be removed from office, excuse me, you can always appeal to your monarch, who can at their discretion run, have an all thing to excuse your absences. So yes, there is some leniency there. If you got deployed but hasn't missed anything and is still in office, if you were deployed, I think it would depend on how long you're going to be deployed for. If it's like for like a month, you're gone for a month. You should be okay unless you need to. Might have to excuse your absences. It depends on what the requirements are at that time. If you're going to be gone for like 4 months and like the last 3 to 4 months of the reign, most likely we would ask you to step down at that point because you will not be returning. But again, it all depends on the situation, and most likely we can work around it.
Yeah, we absolutely respect the men and women in the armed forces. But that being said, we do need to make sure that when people run for office, they take in account that we do need people who are able to be present. So if you do end up being deployed, it may be a good idea to talk to your park, talk to your monarch, all of that, to see if there's somebody who'd be able to fill your position.
Yeah, absolutely. It is, and it's also, up to what your park is willing to accept as an acceptable absence as well. I had my GMR for the last reign just got elected, and we're getting ready to go into reign switch, and he was moving to Fairbanks for 2 months, and he ended up stepping down, and I filled in and I appointed a new GMR. Actually, it wasn't even for 2 months. It was for an unknown amount of time, and that was just too much time that I could have him away, and so we did ask him to resign, and we appointed a new GMR. So.
And Britlock, I don't know if your question is talking about like your 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year, if you're in the National Guard or the Reserve. But something like that would definitely be, if you're getting up to your limit to approve your absences would absolutely be appropriate, because we all have jobs, we all have careers outside of Amp Guard. Those obviously take some priority because it means we eat. But yeah, for something like that, I think that would be an excusable absence.
Oh yeah, if it's something that you're going to be gone for a minimum of 6 months, most likely that would not work for your park. But if you're not going to be, absolutely, I would encourage you to run if you don't know, absolutely encourage you to run and play it by ear. Or, I know the military, you never know, like one day you think you're going to be in one spot for a year and the next day you're gone. And, so I know they can be very finicky.
And this is coming from someone who was in for 10 years, who deployed twice. Don't let the possibility of deployment control your life. Still have a life, have fun. If you want to run for office, run for office. And if something happens, it happens. Just communicate with your top 5, with the Kingdom Monarch, let them know what's going on, and you should be in good shape. But again, don't let the possibility of deployment dictate what you do for fun.
Absolutely.
We had a member in the past who was in a similar boat. Lucian down there in Froco got a job with Department of Corrections, and I don't remember if he ever got approved for those absences, but that's a week on, week off thing. So he was going to miss half the rain regardless.
Yeah, I remember that. That was when I was the regent, and so we were regents together. And yeah, they actually excused half of his absences, and he was actually able to attend some of those, but rain stepped up quite a bit, I remember.
Yeah, for any regents listening, appointing a defender is really awesome. Both if you need to step out for something, or you get busy and can't attend an ANS. On the other side of things, it's a great opportunity for someone to see what a regent does and maybe fulfill that role in the next reign.
Absolutely, mentorship is very important when it comes to anybody working in the top 5. We don't all just jump in knowing exactly how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, this is another good question. Do any of the monarchs have leadership and manager experience outside of Amped Guard? I will start off. Yes, I do. I have run 2 businesses. I have been a manager. I am a leader now in my department. I'm old, so I've been working for a lot. So I have oodles and oodles of leadership and manager experience.
I do as well. I've run a couple of businesses. I also ran a Girl Scout troop one year. That was interesting. And then also, when things were open, I coordinated and ran fairs. And so I was coordinating with a lot of different vendors and stuff. And the basic feedback is that they were the best fairs that these vendors had ever attended. So I guess I'm doing pretty good.
I can jump on the same boat. I mean, I've run a couple businesses, been in managerial positions, led teams of adventurers on epic hunts, all kinds of stuff like that.
I've never run a business, but I was the primary foreman for a lawn and landscaping crew for 2 summers, and then I was a head instructor at a martial arts school for about 3.5 years. I have that under my belt.
I've worked in a lot of restaurants, and I've been a manager of a couple of them.
Formerly, I was the vice regional director of a nationwide paramedical company. I've had a lot of employees work with me in the medical field. When I switched over to culinary, I'm a pastry chef with experience as both head chef and head pastry chef that also had employees that I worked with. And now I'm a mom, and that's pretty managerial too. So
thank you for putting that in. I was going to mention that too. When you have kids, there's a lot of management that goes into that.
Yeah, he's special needs, so that's also a lot of scheduling.
Boo, do you ever use your customer service voice with your son?
No, I try to use the same tone with my son that I normally talk in, so that he grasps the words that I'll normally be saying, and that's one of the reasons that we have a swear jar.
Alrighty, we're getting down to about 10 minutes or so left. So if you've got some burning questions, go ahead and throw them in that CoC general chat. I've got a few left in my spreadsheet. Next one is, can I have $1? This is Drake. Drake, please see Rolo for your $1. And Caro, I hope you pass that on, because I doubt he's listening. I think he's probably teaching right now. The next question is, would it be irresponsible to have Peasants Got Talent? Yes. Very irresponsible at this point in time. Anchorage has a limit of group size now of 10 with food. And usually we have food at Peasants Got Talent, so that's a hot no.
Could we do a Peasants Got Talent online?
Oh, that might be might be possible if someone wants to do that. I did Peasants Got Talent last year with Abram and Jack, so I'm not allowed to run anything, so I'm going to pass on it. But if someone wants to try.
Well, and they can have their own food. I mean, I guess it's part of the peasant thing, so maybe they don't have food. But organizations that can help you out to get that food.
Yeah, maybe have like a cook-along recipe that we do for the week leading up so people can be eating the same thing for a virtual Peasants Got Talent.
Yeah, they could be cream puffs.
And that could be another thing, to get a short video of you trying that food that you made and your reaction to it. Was it good or not so good?
Next question is, how excited for online DC are you all? I'm very excited because I got all kinds of fun things planned for my shenanigans. I get to cut someone's head off, and then I get to give out a bunch of awards. So good times on my end.
I'm super excited to be working with Bromir and Mouse to bring you guys all sorts of virtual good fun. We've got at least 5 sessions of virtual tabletop to be bringing to you guys. We're using Tabletop Simulator to build all of the terrain, and we're grabbing models. We're doing all sorts of fun stuff that you guys are really going to enjoy, I promise. And if you don't, well then, I mean, you're more than welcome to submit complaints to the Majesty. To her Majesty. She'll direct all of your complaints, won't you, Zeogen?
Yes, I will put the official complaint collector in charge of that. Please send all complaints to Nolarian.
And
here I was thinking,
forward to DC.
Here I was thinking Go ahead.
Man, we just keep doing that. I'm sorry. I'm looking forward to DC for sure.
I thought Root's complaint jar was just a bin that leads to the shredder.
No, we love to hear all complaints.
I'm super excited for DC here. I'm a little disappointed that I can't come see you guys, because that's always like a highlight every 6 months. But it'll be cool to hang out with all of you guys, even if it's virtual. So I'm still looking forward to participating.
And I'm actually scared for DC because Mouse is planning it, and she won't tell me anything, and I've got a feeling I'm going to get hurt somehow.
No, of course not, Wayne.
Britlock, the requirements of Paragon is not in the rule book. We have some guidelines. Whoever can find them fast can pop them in the chat. Give us a second here.
Yeah, Paragon, for reference, Ritlock, Paragon for Northreach should be able to be found in our admin manual. It wouldn't be found in the rules of play. It does vary from kingdom to kingdom. Northreach prides itself on having we set a high bar for excellence because we know that our players can reach it.
Hell yeah.
Oh, there's Abram.
Abram, I knew he'd be on it.
It was the first thing that happened, so, I was like, oh, I got that saved somewhere in a note.
So yeah, that's what we look at to be a Paragon.
And that's on a kingdom level, not necessarily just a park level.
Yeah, Paragon is a kingdom level award, so yes. All right, and then of course I switched off my spreadsheet here. Hold on.
I just realized when I smile that it always looks like I'm smirking because I don't have like a lot of muscle on the other side of my face. So I always look like I have my eyebrow raised when I'm smirking, like everything is funny. I promise I'm not mocking everybody. Just most of you.
Ooh, Booth, this is a question for you. Can the librarians please make a main RP story we can follow so we know how we can RP in the kingdom?
You bet your britches. I will get to one started right tonight, and I'll get something up for everybody to be involved in tomorrow on the Kingdom page. Thank you. That like lights my Bunsen burner. Thanks, guys.
And we did an open format RP without an actual rule set a couple of weeks ago for Froco. You're welcome to join in, whoever asked that question. We'll be doing another one this Sunday for our park day. And it just takes place in Northreach. We try and incorporate, the classes and even a few of the rules in unique ways.
Okay, well that is the list. That's all the questions that were submitted from my Google sheet. There's still a few people in here. Are there anything dying y'all want to know from the CoC since you have us here and attentive before we break before the BOD CoC meeting? Frantic typing.
Oh, sorry. Valen just got really sick. He caught my flu, so he was talking to me.
I don't know which questions you asked, Abram. They were anonymous. Overall, no, yes, depends on, and Boo is willing to prove it, but we weren't going to let her do it tonight.
Wowie zowie, I think that's the closest that you've ever got to agreeing with me.
Converter eventually.
Ridlock, I'm not sure what you mean by when's the release of the new rulebook so we can start meeting said requirements. Are you referring to Paragon? If that has nothing to do with the rulebook, it has to do with what Abram posted, that be level 6 in the class, constantly wear good garb, be an active member of the kingdom, demonstrate a willingness to teach others and help them to embrace the class, constantly demonstrate positive behavior on the battlefield, demonstrate excellence, proficiency in the class, i.e. battlefield effectiveness, ability, skill use, knowledge of the way the class interacts with others, equipment use, etc. Oh, sorry. Okay, yes, the new version of the rulebook that we've been doing surveys for, there's a lot more surveys coming out, and I don't believe they're expected to. Oh, I wish Deli hadn't left. I don't think this is going to come out until next year. Not even next year. Probably maybe even 2022. It takes a while to write the rule books and to get everything passed because it's got to go through all kinds of approval process. So
when we've switched over to the current version that we use right now, version 8, we went through, I want to say, a year or two of beta testing and sending back constant information before V8 was even ratified as the current rules. That being said, what will probably happen with V9 is they'll get it to a state where they're ready for us to beta test it, and then we'll choose as a kingdom whether or not we're going to be beta testing it and sending back those results. So we probably won't be seeing anything until the end of next year at the earliest.
Yeah, and Abram did say that 2022 is the projected timeline. And if I'm aware how all projects go, then that might even be iffy.
Is it just me that's having this glitch, or does everybody see that the queen is working on ventriloquism? It's pretty amazing.
Well, I'm good like that.
You are amazing at that. It just froze at some point when you were talking, and so anyway.
All right, last chance for any dire questions before I call this break so I can eat before the other meeting.
If you don't accept mayo as an instrument, is there a condiment you would accept?
No.
Horseradish.
Horseradish? Does pickles count as a condiment? Because I'm pretty sure that we can use those as drumsticks.
Maybe. Pickles are good.
I do love pickles. That is something everybody could get me for Christmas. If everybody just got me a jar of pickles, I would be okay with that.
We had a good enough garden this year. We were able to make homemade pickles out of everything we grew.
Pickled onions. Yeah.
I'm jealous.
For reference, Karin, sweet pickles are made of the devil himself, so dill pickles, please, as is proper and right.
Agreed.
Agreed.
No sweet pickles. I'll die. My soul will die. Then I'll physically die.
One summer I did try making my own pickles, but then I couldn't even bring myself to try them because I wasn't sure if I did it right or not.
See, I come from a really large southern family, so every time we'd get together, there would always be homemade pickles of every kind of thing that you could grow. Quick pickles, long pickles, summer pickles, winter pickles, all sorts of pickles.
Alrighty, well, even though that pickle talk was completely riveting, I'm going to call this town hall closed for the month of November. I appreciate everyone coming and talking with us. I had some great questions. If you stick around in about 27 minutes or so, we're going to have a riveting BOD-COC meeting. There's some pretty hot topics on for discussion, so hopefully we'll see you guys then. No.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you for coming. Run for office.
Good night, everyone. And see you later.
See you in like half an hour.
Pay your dues and wear a mask.